Look, we all have body parts that we want to improve, right? Whether it's our biceps, our back, our chest, shoulders, whatever the case is, a lot of us are always looking to tone or strengthen or develop one muscle a little bit more than it is currently. So after years of trial and error and trying to do this myself, I finally come together with science and my own experience to figure out the best solution for you to start following. So that's what we're going to go over in today's video. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy John Mango, and my arms used to be my weak point. That's how I know how to bring them up. Seriously though, I'm back representing Beyond the Iron, where I drop weekly fitness content on this channel to help you get to your fitness goals faster and more enjoyably. So if you're interested in doing so, consider subscribing. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you the exact example as to how I actually gained about an inch of muscle on my arms in 1 year, all natural, through the methods I'm going to explain to you today. So we're going to dive right in and first talk about how does a muscle actually grow. Well, it's going to be a combination of increasing volume over time through your training stimulus, as well as proper nutrition, of course. So how do you increase volume over time and get stronger? Progressive overload. That is the mechanism by which we are able to provide a higher training stimulus to the muscle to produce growth over time. But the issue then arises is that, we've got our workout split, we're hitting the muscles, we're progressively overloading, but some muscle groups just don't grow as fast as we'd like or in proportion to others. So that's where the key comes in here. Frequency is the best way to actually be able to hit more volume in each given week for that muscle group by not hitting too much in one session and taxing it over time. By the way, any and all studies that I need to reference and back up the points I'm making will be linked at the bottom of the description, so be sure to check those out. But basically, if you start doing too much volume in one session, it's going to impede recovery, and sometimes it's just not really that possible given the amount of time and all that you have. On the other hand, there's still a lot of people out there doing the bro split, which is hitting a muscle group once a week. Honestly, just bumping that up to a push-pull leg split or an upper lower or a full body split is likely going to trigger some serious growth in the area that you're looking to grow. Now, before we determine how to figure out your frequency that's best for you to actually grow that muscle group, I do also want to mention the prioritization method. Okay, now this is essentially just like it sounds. If you're looking to bring your biceps up, sometimes it's better to place biceps at the beginning of certain workouts. That way, all of your energy is into that and you can apply more volume into that muscle group right off the bat. So that's another technique to keep in mind, but we're going to go into both of these in a bit. So how you determine frequency, or if you're doing it enough times, is this. Well, if you're currently on a bro split, like I said, you should shift to hitting everything twice a week. This is going to give you a better idea as to what parts of your body actually develop slower. Next is, if you're already hitting them twice a week or 3 times a week, then if it comes to a bigger muscle group, let's say your chest and your back that you want to develop, typically hitting that 3 times a week will be a big game changer for you. Of course, you got to make sure that you split up volume equally amongst those sessions, since they're likely going to be close together. So an example of this is, currently I'm trying to bring my chest up, right? So I do a push-pull legs, but I also added in an extra chest day and arms day so that I can get more frequency. However, of course, you don't want to be going super intense, super hard, or definitely not till failure on each workout for that muscle group, because again, your recovery is going to get impaired, and actually eventually you might hold yourself back. So what you need to do is make sure you're splitting the volume up evenly. If you have 3 chest workouts a week, or maybe you want to bring up your back or your shoulders, have those 3 sessions a week, find out what the best way to put them in your split is, and from there you can have something like on chest day 1, you can have a lower intensity with higher reps. Chest day 2 could be heavy weight, lower reps, and chest day 3 could be something like some paused work and some accessory isolation work for the chest. So again, make sure that you're figuring out how to incorporate this in your split, because let me tell you, if you're able to take your back training from twice a week to 3 times a week, it will grow much faster. You'll be surprised, all right? It's likely you're gonna have to sacrifice maybe a bit of another muscle group. So an example is, let's say it's a push-pull leg split. Well, what you can do is have push on day 1, pull on day 2, so that's your first back day, and legs on the next day. After that, you can do a pull day again, so that's the second pull day within a span of about 48 hours. So you should have less volume on the first one, more on the next one, or the opposite. And then from there, another push day, another leg day, and another pull day. Then you could do a chest and back day. So the chest and back day is where you prioritize back, and then after that you rest a day and repeat. Okay, so there's so many different combinations of ways you can actually add that in. Now, it's important to note, if you have something smaller, like a muscle group that's smaller, like your biceps or your delts or your hamstrings or your calves, something along those lines, you can actually get away with increasing the frequency of these muscle groups even more than 3 times a week. An example of this is the one I'll give you with my arms, where I was hitting them 4 to 5 times a week. As a matter of fact, I'm still hitting them about 4 times a week. So that's essentially how you're gonna split it up. You need to first determine what muscle group that you want to bring up. I'm sure you know what that is by now. From there, also you might want to determine what muscle group is okay to take a bit of a back seat. So maybe, for example, in my case, my legs can tolerate small amounts of volume and grow anyways. So in that case, I might want to scale back on some leg training in the future in order to make room for another muscle group that's going to grow. Or in my case, I'm sacrificing slightly on my back training, since that is my strongest point, in exchange for another push day. So again, kind of play around with what works for you. For the smaller muscle groups, it's good because you can prioritize them. So for example, hitting biceps before back, hitting triceps before chest, or hitting calves before legs, that kind of stuff. And you can tack those isolation exercises at the end of any workout. You can hit, and you should hit, calves at the end of a push and pull day as well, if that's the muscle group you're looking to bring up. The key there is frequency. So now I want to give you the example of how I was able to build my arms up from being the weakest point of my body to one of the stronger points. I don't know if the lighting's hitting them so well right now, but I grew them up to about an inch of pure muscle from bulk to cut in just about 1 year's time. And how I did that was with what I'm preaching to you today. I essentially started hitting arms 4 to 5 times a week. Now, the key here is you're not taking them to failure and you're not destroying your arms. Instead, breaking up the volume over multiple sessions allows that protein synthesis to stay elevated for longer periods of time. So for example, I had a push day, pull day, legs, and an arms day. Then I would rest and repeat. Or even sometimes I wouldn't even rest, but my arms were still good to go. So I would hit push and I would do triceps, then I would hit pull and I would do biceps, then I would hit arms on their own, and then push again, triceps, pull again, biceps. Typically I can fit all that in to 1 week. And from that, over a year with proper nutrition, I was able to see some massive gains in my arms. I'm currently doing the same thing for my chest, and I've already noticed some serious growth happening, and it's only been a few months. So I'm very excited about that. And honestly, if you apply this technique, that's what it comes down to. It's not about a special little exercise you could do here. Oh, you got to turn your hand from this angle to that angle, or you got to use the bench to lay on it. There's no special technique here. It is taking the fundamentals of volume, intensity, and frequency and manipulating them in a way so that you're hitting the muscle group more often with more volume spread out over more time, keeping the intensity high enough to actually see results in your gains. So I hope that you found that helpful, and I hope that you can make some serious progress. Actually, I know that you can make some serious progress in your muscle gains going forward, and I look forward to that. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment below whatever else you'd like to see, and don't forget to share with your friends and subscribe for more weekly fitness content coming your way, as it always does. Thanks again. I'm out.